Hello YouTube and welcome back to the RiftGuides WildRift video. My name is Kirks, rank 1 washed up gamer, but with Talon I'll be probably one of the best players on the planet because, well, this champion is unbelievably broken and you can be as broken as this champion is by just looking in and understanding what you can do. So after watching this video you will understand how to abuse this champion to just win most of your games and just do crazy things. So first off, let's talk about jungling and make this a little bit into a jungle guide. First off, jungling is mostly about understanding the strength of your champion. When does your champion spike? When is he powerful and when is he weak? So with Talon, you ideally can go for a full clear because your full clear is relatively fast. You can utilize your first abilities reset on jungle monsters to basically clear a little bit faster. Another thing you can do is you can go for a partial clear and then allow yourself to go for an invade. But obviously, if you go for an invade, there's going to be a lot more risks involved. So with jungling, you have to understand everything you do is a commitment. You are paying an opportunity cost for doing something. Let's say you only do 3 camps into a gank. You pay with your time and the option for the enemy to go for a gank, or maybe invade your jungle, so you lose gold income compared to maybe getting a kill. Well, consistent gold income. And the same thing applies to every other champion in a jungle. Just other champions in the jungle have it easier due to their nature, and other champions have it a lot harder, and very nicely played by design here, or rather the Irelia just pressed Q one time too many, so yeah, she just got put behind the sign and just, well, died on the spot. But yeah, for jungling, you have to think about, okay, how do I get my gold, and how do I do it the most consistently? First off, the default clear is all about full clearing. That is the default. However, as you are clearing, you can look at matchups, you can look at lane states and everything that's happening around you to get yourself an advantage. So let's say something happens, you see I was recalling here, I see this happening mid lane, I am level 5, I can just jump over the wall, jump close, use my first ability in full combo her and just instantly kill her. Now I help my mid laner to push this out because, well, I have some extra time here and just making it easier for the mid laner is something that's very nice to do. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to walk to my Croc camp because it's the next natural reset point because there's going to be minions for me. The Wukong makes his appearance down here after a play and now the wave is in an interesting state, so I have to just wait a little bit. So let's see what the enemy bot lane is doing while I pick up my Croc camp and then look for a potential play depending on what is happening. Ideally I get level 6 before this happens from this little Croc. Sadly I don't. And now I walk around the corner to look for a potential play. I saw them channel their recall, so I just hop the wall, jump on them, get a free exhaust instantly thrown into my face, and it's not a problem. I barely paid anything for this gank, because the Wukong was down here as well, and he has to reset. So now I got a free summoner spell, and I'm going back into my jungle anyway in its natural way. Because I started clearing my jungle bottom lane, so my camps will respawn here early. So I go for a brief little hello on the enemy bot lane, and then I just waltz away into my own jungle, healing up with the power of Bloodline and Gluttonous Grease. So I can go for these hit and run scenarios to put myself in a position that will allow me to influence the map without even getting a kill. And now you see that there's going to be probably an investment, because there's 2 camps available and I have to think about what I want to do. So I approach the lane from a very high distance, look at the potential game here, a gank here, but with Nautilus not wanting to pull the trigger, I will simply recall. Because it's very, very important that you just call your losses very early, because if you cannot trust a person to do the right play and he's just idling around, you don't want to waste too much time, because wasting time equals this happening. And technically speaking, I could have been there. And with me being there, I would instantly have gotten the kill. So I paid the opportunity tax of being down there looking for my Nautilus, looking for potential play. Very unlikely to work out because the enemy team is Ezreal and Janna. However, it's possible. But it could have been easier by just going from the other side of the map, the camps there for the easy gold income, and then for a kill on the Irelia. So now, with me understanding that I cannot trust the Nautilus at all with what he's doing, I will pull my gameplay onto the top side of the map, which sucks for the Draven, because the Draven loves attention. Draven as a champion wants to be played around, and without that happening, it's very tough for him. But now I'm utilizing the pink ward up here by my teammate to just approach the Irelia, and the Irelia cannot defend herself. So I just walk close, use my first ability, jump onto her, and she will simply die. There's nothing she can do. And now we have the biggest issue for the Aurelia. First off, she cannot be there for the Herald, which is the most gruesome thing ever. So the only thing that can happen is the Wukong trying to steal, or he trades for a dragon. And afterwards, depending on how much time I need, I can kill the Aurelia again. Nautilus makes this rotation here. That's what I like. It's a good thing. With the kill on Aurelia, it's not necessarily needed, but I can just make my rotation here, place down the Herald, look for the enemy jungle camps now because we spotted Wukong as well for a brief moment, and since we walked through the jungle earlier, we know that jungle camps are available, and we will not even waste our time looking for a potential play mid lane, because it's not required. We could have looked here, but now we trap for the Wukong to just say hello, my little friend, and jump onto him. Zoe will also make her appearance, we just instantly go stealth, and we will not even take any risk involved here. Alternatively, we could have again, if we didn't trap for the Wukong, think about this, we could have gone for the Aurelia up there and the enemy jungle camps. It's all an option, and since our mid lane is making a play bot lane, we obviously want to make sure to take down the wave in the mid lane, and the Zoe has to be really careful, because we deal a lot of damage. And generally, as a jungle, you have to understand that it's often a thing of dealing with waves, catching waves, making sure to prepare waves, and just making sure your economy is always good. So often, more than often enough, it gets very frustrating to play jungle. The simple reason is that many players in this game do not necessarily care for waves. They don't care about looking at them, and they don't want to do anything to them because they don't understand the consequences of these waves. So again, down here, I could have walked down there, but I can also walk up here. Given the quick glance I had at the wave, it means that the wave is hard pushing into my teammate. I pop the sweeper, knowing that there's no ward available. Aurelia is going to pick up the Scorpion, and when she all-ins now, I will simply just kill her. It's a stun, so she will go in as per usual. I walk slightly behind, throw my Q into the wall, second ability upwards, and just walk away and just make sure I can just use my ult the moment she pops her ult, just to be safe. Because Aurelia is still Aurelia as a champion. She does a lot of damage. And here we see, and the Zoe is being visible on the Orianna. Orianna noticed that I'm here, and then I just jump in from the side and, well, quickly take care of the Zoe. That was very well played by the Orianna, noticing that I was there. And now I'm on the run down there, because now I have the tools and the damage to make the difference without having to rely on anyone. So now they put all their spells on cooldown. I could have jumped here as well a little bit earlier. Now I jump into the Janna, instantly kill her, turn around onto the Ezreal. The Wukong just chose to die himself. I don't even have to commit my ultimate because red buff is going to carry me. And yeah, goodbye, good sir. And now with this done, I know that the enemy blue buff is taken already, should be taken already, because of the buff I have on me. So I just quickly walk in here to get the reset timers on everything, and then I press my recall button because I have a full item in base. Now my Elgato went crazy as per usual and the colors change, so yeah, interesting. And yeah, whenever that happens, my sound just crashes and everything turns to shit. But yeah. Also look at the minimap, I see the respawn timer on the enemy red buff, so I can utilize that as well. And here I'm looking at the team. Sadly, the Janna has a very broken item called Veil. And here I'm just taking no chances, I instantly flash away, look at the fight if I need to press QSS. But yeah, you can always argue QSS versus flash, what to use. I panicked, I pressed flash over QSS, so that is what happened to me. But yeah, nothing is happening that we can influence. Now we see a fight breaking out again, so we have to instantly turn around just to see if there's something we need to do. And this is one of the hardest things, because there's so many things potentially happening. You have to be aware. And we just look for them. Zoe again makes the mistake of walking up. We just wait for this to happen and we instantly punish her with the help of the Orianna. Could have also approached this from behind, because then the escape for the Zoe is rather impossible. But then we did need to instantly commit a wall jump, which is something that I don't always want to do, because the cooldown is relatively big on these walls, and you can get punished very easily. But yeah, since there's so many walls on the map, and your champion is very high damage and very mobile, it's so difficult to punish Talon unless the enemy team is really well playing together. And that is what makes him so broken. I can just jump over here, go for a quick trade onto the Aurelia, and now walk away in stealth again, deal so much damage, jump away, use my Q to jump onto a minion, and then play the hit and run scenario. My Sion now ults in, goes in for a massive fight, and now I just quickly go into my jungle and heal up again, because look at the HP I'm healing. Waiting here so I can get the last hit with Q for extra healing, and now I just come back to the fight. Or rather, to pick up the scraps of the fight, because the Ezreal just is a very interesting play here, but I have to be really careful. Again, I have to walk away. Exhaust button is very broken this game. And yeah, I just go to the bot lane wave now, because it's nothing I can do in a fight, so might as well clear the bot wave, get some healing, and do something positive for the team while looking for another play. Now with the HP bars as they are, pop the sweeper, I approach this, I luckily avoid this vision thing, and the Ezreal is here instantly and dies also instantly as well. The Janna is the same, she instantly dies, and I have to space away from the Wukong to understand that he can kill me at this point, and I just have to be really mindful. Orianna gets a good pick up onto the Zoe, and the game looks very, very good right now. Establishing this hit and run kind of gameplay is so important when it comes to playing, and the Aurelia is just really frustrated going in onto the Draven, even though she should know that we are all here. And yeah, this Wukong, we will never get the Wukong, but I can just run after him and piss him off a little bit, because yeah, I'm Talon. But I will not continue chasing him, because you never know who's hiding in Fog of War. And having so much gold in the pocket is something I don't really want that to happen. So I'm just recalling right now to buy a full item. And then I'm going back to my top side, ideally. Picking up the Dev's Dance, because if you look at the enemy team, they have a lot of physical damage. However, they have a lot of magical damage as well. So you best believe I'm going to buy both DD and more. Because the issue in this game is I will get one shot if I make a mistake, and I want to give myself as much room as possible for that to not happen. I don't want to do Nash here with the HP boss of my team. It's too much of a risk for me that I don't want to take because it's not needed. Draven hits the Nasher to get an axe reset. We have somebody playing up there. Nautilus is doing some interesting things. We clear this ward here. Baron Nashor being angry after being hit by the Ezreal ult, and we just sidestep one thing, have to jump away again, and now we have to pop the QSS. And sometimes you see my third ability bugging out kinda, and it's movement related, but I'll explain it later. Now we can flash over the wall, get one kill instantly, pop the ult, get the DD reset, get another DD reset, and now it's an absolute slaughter. We get so much for free, and it's absolutely insane. The Wukong tries to go in to like a Hail Mary play, but it's not gonna work out. He doesn't do enough damage, and now we can just chase him down. Draven is too low HP for the Nasher, so we just don't do this. We just run after the Janna, and we just make sure that she also dies. Pops the emote, doesn't know. We pop the counter emote, because that's how we win the mental warfare. And all of this... Draven... a happy little accident on the Draven's end here. And yeah, we have another game as well after this. So we will take a look at a more definitely harder game. But it's very important to understand that Talon is like a champion that wants to be played similar to this. Hit and run, look for opportunities, punish people, look for flanks, go for the backline. That is the key thing about this champion. And then you want to be very swift. And you see, I'm super tanky. I have my Maw, I have my DD, so I can't realistically get one shot unless I really troll, and now I'm looking to annoy enemies even more while dealing with waves. I accelerate the push in the mid lane, make sure that the bottom wave is also pushing, naturally, if you see on the minimap, and now we can look at Baron prep. I get randomly bubbled, so my Edge of Night is gone. Good job. And the moment we see one or two people on the bottom wave, we can just do whatever we want and the enemy automatically loses. Now we see the Nautilus baiting in, so I can just jump over, go for the Zoe here, go for a quick trade, pop my ultimate, pop QSS, walk upwards, go for the Zoe again, and they simply don't have enough damage to deal with me. And I can just jump after, the enemy team is completely in disarray, and we'll simply win for free. Hit and run, look for opportunities, hop the walls, be fast. And as per usual, you need to adapt your item build to make sure that punishing you is not the easiest. And don't worry, we'll take a look at the other gameplay. You will see it's gonna be very similar. But first, let's take a look at the stat tab. It's always nice to take a quick look. Liking my teammates, 25k damage, not as much damage as other people did, but as you saw, it was more like a hit and run and cleanup operation. But yeah, now we move over to the second game. Okay, this game was relatively rough to be played because of multiple things happening. We see the Mundo in the bottom side. I completely remember this game because it was very painful to play. The Mundo at some point randomly decided to never be side lane again, and that made the game very much difficult. And for some reason the Yasuo is invading me level 1, so I can basically just walk up and deal with him. And then now I employ a hit and run scenario again, jump the wall, and yeah, I have no idea what the guy was doing, doesn't make any sense, but I take it. Honestly, I take it. And yeah, with this done, we are now going back to our full clear. The enemy Talon, the enemy Yasuo didn't really use anything too special. So yeah, we just use this to put ourselves even further ahead, because if you think about the game from a different perspective, if you're already ahead, do you have to take increasingly higher risks to get even more ahead? Or can you take 0 to no risk to put yourself into a spot where you get even more gold? Because look, the Yasuo is doing, I don't know what the hell the guy is doing. I really don't understand. But given the other lanes I have, I'd rather go for the consistent gold income and then look for potential play on the map. Because the risk if I go in there and, for example, go for the red buff invade and then the enemy bot lane makes their appearance is relatively high, and given the lane states at that point, the risk is too high for me to take, especially if my champion, in an ideal scenario, doesn't put a point into a third ability until level 4. But yeah, this game has already turned very weird compared to the other one. But yeah, we are looking for potential play up here, but we will not stop our clear because there's no reason to do so yet. We just play very, very slow and look for options, and then we go if we can. We look for the enemy backline. The enemy, like our Alistair had to go in here. There was such a free gank if he just goes in. But yeah, now the play basically ends since the Alistair didn't want to go. Maybe we can pick up the Yasuo here as he's trolling in front of us. Yep, we actually do. Sadly, the Alistair didn't want to go for the proactive play, but that's fine. Now that Vladimir is very angry, we popped ult to run after him, so he doesn't actually know where we are coming from specifically. And now we take over the Scuttle Crab. But yeah, as you see, like going for the gank is an investment because I couldn't completely do it on my own. I needed to have the Alistair go in early with a combo and then lock them down for a brief moment so I can make sure to get to the Caitlyn instead of her running away. But that wasn't possible, so the gank failed and I had to basically find and scrap the play. Look and scrap the play, sorry. Now with the Fiora down here, we are already very close. The wave is in a very interesting spot that the Fiora can be punished for if there's no vision. So now we want the Fiora to dash in or make a play or walk too far forward. We see this happening, we just jump close, we avoid the parry, and we get the clean kill on her. The issue with this is we didn't get the kill, so it's never a good thing. We always like to get the kill. We are an assassin jungler. Yasuo is in the river here, we get the bleeding stacks onto him, we get a free proc, and he's a little bit of trolling, we just dance around and he bleeds to death to red buff, and well, our passive. Just play slow if you have your ultimate, no need to force things instantly, they have to be very much aware of what is happening and have to basically flip the coin on which side is the Talon gonna re-up here, and why. And now that Dr. Mundo is probably randomly dying because he stayed too long on his lane and gets ran down. And yeah, we basically invested our time into a person that, yeah, just randomly dies. We love WildRift. We don't have ult, so this play is very much risky. It's very risky to go for this play, because without ult, I kind of lack damage. Again, I paid the opportunity tax of going here, or cost. Jump close, she parries, but my next Q will give me the the bleeding. But here I flash away because I got really scared. I'll be really honest. And I'll get, I just want to be close to get my gold for the Yomos. So yeah. Gimme. Okay, so now my gold is bearable. I have to wait only a few seconds as I'm healing up anyway. And then I can make a play on the other side of the map again. But yeah, I look at the play up here. I see I have to be there. There's a high potential of me getting something for free. The Yasuo still can't really go for anything else because he's still locked in here. We get a few kill pickups. And now we have the ability to go for multiple things. We can go for both Dragon and Herald, since the Yasuo is so slow, or we just don't care about the Dragon at all. We just pick up the blue buff, make sure we get level 9 relatively soon, and then play for the Herald. It really depends on what you want to do. You can make the argument that you can obviously go for the Dragon and pick up Dragon, and then go for the Herald afterwards as your ultimate comes up again, since the Yasuo is so delayed. So now with this happening, we know that the enemy has a very high interest of being here, so we just quickly waltz around the map. We look for a play, jump into the fog of 1, need to be really careful. This Fiora does a lot of damage. Now the Yasuo is really angry at us. We have to jump to the Herald to avoid certain death. We play stun off second ability and we just play on very slowly. We look for a potential play here. We just jump onto the Thresh, pop our ultimate so that Vladimir can't just kill us, and now we just waltz back to the Herald again. Again, employing hit and run tactics over and over again, and now giving our mid laner a free Herald mid lane. Now with the Herald being placed mid lane, we can invade the enemy top side, because we have seen that the Yasuo didn't have any buff, so we can just waltz in here and take everything as our own. Looking for potential play mid lane here. The Vladimir makes a big mistake of walking too close, and he immediately dies for it. Now the question is, do you want to go for another invade? We can obviously do so, we have enough power, or we just collect the dragon. Depending on what you want to do, both works out perfectly. If you believe that you can get collapsed on, or the enemy Yasuo might kill you with the Thresh, it's too high of a risk. But yeah, now the Thresh is coming from the right hand side, so I don't want to continue this play, so I'd rather go for the Crux and look to deny the Thresh's entry here. He misses the hook, and I just continuously jump the wall, avoid certain death by being CC'd, because if the Yasuo is too close, I might get killed for that one. Because if the Thresh hits me with any type of CC, I'll just get knocked up, and then it's going to be Jover for me. Now I don't want to associate with this type of play here anymore. I want to build more items, I want to get more items. And I see that there's a little Yasuo in my jungle fighting against the Dr. Mundo, and I don't really know what the Yasuo is thinking, because the Mundo is just smacking his head in. Got played by the Mundo defending my jungle, picking up another red buff for free as well. There was a pink ward in the brush beneath me, so this play has low chances of working out, but well, nothing I can do. Quickly glancing into the enemy jungle to get the respawn timers, because I already know about the top side of the jungle, but I just want the timers here to make sure that I can probably or likely go for another play here later, since I also know that the enemy red buff is still available, because it can't be dead, because well, he was on my red buff and he didn't have a red buff, and I know the respawn timer of the enemy red buff, I can simply waltz here as well. But getting these timers can be so beneficial for you and your gameplay, you can punish people. But yeah, now I need my Alistair to hit first, because I'm not gonna hit first, because if I hit first, I simply die. But I'm immediately running away because the Vladimir is really angry, go into melee range, go for a quick combo, try to survive. I actually do survive. Now I waltz in for the honey fruit, and after taking the honey fruit, I can look for another play, pop the sweeper here, and look at the minimap for a potential play again. If they recalled in an awkward position, I could have maybe jumped the wall and killed. Oh, the Yasuo is griefing. I can just say hello to the Yasuo. Pop in every single bit of my spells, jump the wall again, play it slow, jump on him again, and now run down both. Because red buff is too broken, there's no way he can escape. I can just jump again, and he will just simply die. Red buff is so broken on melee champions, you have no idea. It's so stupid how dumb red buff is. And yeah, like, if you're looking to pick up Talon, I can only recommend you to do so. This champion is such an elo cheat code, similar or kin to Lilia. It is crazy how good these champions are if you understand how to properly clear your jungle. You just have to understand how to get your economy rolling and then to punish people. Obviously, you will lose games. That's that's no question at all. You will lose games. But with this champion, or these champions, you can do so many things that it's going to be crazy. But here you see that the Mundo has some interesting ideas about not side laning anymore. So now we have a problem. We have a big problem. One of the biggest problems possible. Because one of us, of the fat people, has to deal with the side lane because our Mundo doesn't want to, and now everything will be constantly delayed. The Mundo can just defend the tower under the tower and play for time. But if somebody of us has to go there with all the gold we have, the fights on the other side of the map can turn very, very bad, and we have no chance of doing anything. So, you really have to keep that in mind. And by the way, we are also working on our Patreon, the website. We are in beta. So, just to update you, we have been working quite a lot there, just to make sure it looks very nice, it's very accessible, and has every bit of information you want to have on like one neat glance. So yeah, I will update you further in the future, don't worry. But I just wanted to give you like a little heads up. And yeah, as you see, the most fat people are doing other things on the map because Mr. Mundo chose to just walk away from this lane, so I can't basically stick around because otherwise we'll lose to, for example, Fiora just going sideline over and over again. And yeah. It's too much of a risk, and now we'll constantly be off-tempo with everything happening because we have to spread thin. Lucian is fat enough to basically kill both at the same time. I do myself a favor, oh my god, the Vladimir sidesteps, just to walk there just in case something happens, because that is the proper play at this point. If my Lucian goes for a play, I want to shadow him, I want to be behind him, I want to show that I can support him. But I do not want to show myself to the enemy. And now again, the hit and run tactics, you see, just walking in, looking for a place, jumping after the Fiora. I think now I might die here, because yeah, I get so much damage. Yeah, I got so much damage. I got absolutely blown up. And I QSS very late as well. So yeah, very unnecessary. I thought I could just do this, but the Fiora gained basically 19 billion gold from this play up there earlier, because they chose to go for another play. It's still okay, but yeah. Just generally, by the way, Talon. Understanding in melee range that you can use your auto attack, Q auto attack, like your auto attack, first ability, auto attack, and your auto, like your Q, like your first ability will always crit. It is such a game changer in terms of DPS. It's insane, because if you use a range Q, you don't get the auto attack before. And you would only use it as a gap closer. And with the people we spot on the map, we can instantly rush Nashor. It's just too free to rush Nashor at 12 minutes. The objective is simply too weak and just instantly dies. It dies faster than a dragon, which is funny to me. Now we can look for the Yasuo here again. Need to be careful to not get caught by the Thresh here. Wherever he might be, we found them. Deal some good damage, look for a potential play, deal some extra damage, and then we just waltz away again. We just want to make sure we don't get caught again like earlier, where we just overestimated our strength. And we can just constantly use our second ability to dish out good damage and just play range. You can also argue that there's a world in which you can max your first ability first. But your second ability during fights can also be very helpful, and then afterwards you'll max it anyway. But yeah, talking about the third ability in jumping walls. Often you'll realize that if you input a movement command as you inputted the jump command, you have to input the jump command again. And you see, like, this is where we're getting really, really messed up. Because look at this wave bot side. And now the Jinx is walking all the way down rather than doing something else. She could have recalled and taken this wave so I can be with the team, but she didn't. So now I'm forced to deal with this wave. And since I cannot be in time up there, I can clear this wave and then maybe walk up to there again. And again, she doesn't show any signs of trying to do anything helpful for the team. And yeah, so I'm now, okay, I guess I will just split push myself as well. Because if I was up there, we just completely wipe the fight. But if I don't go up there, the chances are that the Jinx will not defend because she doesn't understand what she has to do. And it feels very bad to have to do this because it's a lose-lose situation. Because it's so easy for me to influence the fight in a way that I can just simply pop stomp the fight with the help of the Lucian. but I'm forced to deal with something else because somebody doesn't want to deal with it, even though it's what they have to do. Be it the Dr. Mundo or be it the Jinx, literally anyone, doesn't really matter. Now this might be really rough again. What happens here? She parries, it's all fine, pops the ult, and now I just jump the wall. You see the commands I do, and then I just pop my flash out of tilt. You see, this is what happens sometimes. If you have the movement command and the third ability, this can happen sometimes, and here it was actually really painful, because it cost me a life and a lot of gold, luckily going to the Thresh, and luckily Nasha wasn't available, nor the Dragon was. Because if this happens in a vital spot, you might just lose the game of that singular play. And yeah, now we just basically go back to wave defense. It is boring, but it sadly has to be done while our Dr. Mundo is exploring the enemy jungle camps. And that is one of the biggest issues in WildRift, the understanding where to be and why to be, and trying to go for situations that actually win you something rather than lose-lose situations. Dr. Mundo's inside the enemy jungle again. Maybe we can look to salvage this play. We can hide behind the wall here, using the sweeper to see if somebody walks in, pop the ult to walk around the corner, and then we go for hit and run again. Hit and run on repeat, looking for potential plays, and then we can simply go for Baron Nashor again. I don't know what Alistair is doing. He can be here almost immediately, tank it up for us so I don't take the debuff. I don't know who's voting surrender, but yeah, I guess. Now we can move over and pick up a free dragon as well, as is our soul. But I prefer Nashor over the soul any day of the week, I'll be very much honest. Having the soul makes life a little bit easier, of course, because it's free stats, but it's not the biggest thing on this planet. Wait for Vladimir ult to go away, and then we go for a quick combo. And then we look for the backline again. We jump onto the Caitlyn here. Caitlyn will probably flash away after we ult. She does, and now we turn around with the Lucian, and we play the fight with the Lucian as well. Like, we basically just sit on him and help him. Now I look at the bottom side of the map a little bit too late, so I could have seen that they didn't need me and I could have been with the Lucian instantly, and now it's basically just a chase down scenario. I need to be mindful to not use my jump in a way where I block off potential movement for the future, especially if I want to go for multiple fights during a jump with no ult or no flash. And here I can help him finally, and we just go in for the Caitlyn, we just see her in the backline, we pop everything behind her, she doesn't have the damage, and we just make sure to escape this narrowly, and now we finally end the game. And there's something that I've learned generally, like if you see that this is green, you can always walk in, but you have to be aware how many minions are in there, because sometimes if there's only one minion, you just die. And that's it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and obviously enjoy WildRift. We'll see each other for more gameplay very soon. Goodbye.